Hi, I'm Dave. This is the Cyderbaby show, and today I'm speaking to Andy from Skinny Knowledge. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm not so bad. You just come back from a very long journey to speak to me today.
Yeah, I've been away for the weekend doing gigs, and my dad's just moved up north, so thought I'd help him with the move. But I also had a couple of gigs up that way anyway, so it's just been kind of like a busy weekend. And literally just walked in the door about 10 minutes ago, and was like, "Oh, I need to log on." So, yeah,
Yeah. Uh, life is busy for you at the moment, isn't it?
yeah, a lot going on. So not only do I do Skinny Knowledge, I also have, I think I'm in about 6 or 7 bands, something like that.
Okay.
Just doing various things, couple of tribute bands and a wedding band, and I do stuff on my own. And yeah, so it's kind of just all over the place. But obviously, yeah, at the moment with what we're going to talk about in a
Hmm.
minute with the album coming out, there's a lot going on with Skinny Knowledge at the moment, but also I still have to go out and work. So, can't all stop just for Skinny Knowledge as much as I'd love it to.
Yeah. Gone are the days where the rock and roll lifestyle can just let you do what the hell you want now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Never mind. All right then. We've just mentioned this. You've got a new album, 22, coming out very soon.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
So the album is called 22. It comes out on October 27th. And so the name of the album kind of came about because the songs that were written were almost like a journal or a diary of kind of my life throughout 2022. A
Okay.
couple of people have been like, it's called 22, but it's been released in 23. Why is that? It's kind of, well, it was written about last year. So that's why it's written, yeah, called 22. We weren't inspired by Adele, put it that way.
Right.
Um,
That's good to
but
know.
yeah, so the yeah, but yeah, so the songs are just yeah about everything that happened last year. It's quite emotionally charged. I had
Hmm.
quite a rough year to say the least. So yeah, it's just kind of my take on things. My um, I guess it was almost like it's kind of therapeutic in a way.
Hmm.
It's a way of just getting out what I needed to say, and how I felt and stuff. And yeah, so there's some angry songs on there. There's a couple of sad songs. It's a bit of an emotional roller coaster, to be honest.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I can definitely say that
um,
because I was listening to it earlier and I was thinking, wow.
yeah. But no, we're really proud of it. We're really happy with it. We're stoked for everyone to hear it. Obviously, there's been 3 singles out so far.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I think it's nice because I think the sound of this album it's kind of taken on its own sound a little bit now, which is nice.
Mm.
So the first album was basically just a lockdown project that I did on my own. So I recorded it all, I wrote it all. Um, so it kind of is a little bit like mix and match of just lots of different things that I like and my influences and stuff like that. Whereas I think this has now been it's a band, like
Mm.
we've all recorded on it. I know I still did the majority of the writing, but it's still I think it's kind of finding Skinny Knowledge is finding its kind of its sound,
Yeah,
which is kind of cool. So we're excited for people to hear that.
yeah. I mean, I was trying, I suppose I shouldn't really, but I was trying to pigeonhole the sound and you can't. Um, you're definitely rock flavored. You seem to be on the punkier side of rock, but certainly nowhere near pop punk or anything like that. And then there's a
I
little
think
bbe of
there's
grunge and there's a little bit of
yeah,
everything else in there as well. So how would you describe your sound?
pretty much that. To be honest, yeah. I mean, it is hard because I think I've got so many influences. I mean, for example, I'm wearing an Eagles t-shirt right now,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but the music that we make is like 90s post grunge, pop punk, alternative rock, metal. It's
Mm.
like there's so many different influences, So I think the main ones that you kind of look at, it's very 90s influenced, I think. Like early Foo Fighters and
Yeah.
Sum 41 and Nirvana and Green Day and those kind of bands. So like you said, it's not you can hear those pop punk influences, but
Mm.
couldn't call it pop punk
No.
because there's riffs in there and there's screaming stuff in there which you wouldn't hear Green Day do ever.
Mm.
So So then you kind of take that to more like the Sum 41 almost metal side of things, or like the Foo Fighters thing where, you know, Dave Grohl screams and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a kind of pick and mix of lots of things, but I think it's kind of coming together a little bit. Like I said, that it's kind of creating, it's not a sound that's unheard, that no one's heard before, but I think it's, people listen to it like you said, and it's almost like, think it's almost familiar, but not at the same time.
Yes.
Which is kind of cool. And I think we like to take the approach that the recording is it's quite a raw sound. It's not super overproduced. It's not perfect. Because I always like that about music. I think some of the character gets taken away if everything is perfectly in time, like to the grid, and
Yeah.
recorded so many things and recorded it so many times that it's just it's too perfect, and it kind of sucks out, I think, a little bit of the life. You know, for example, I don't think any of the vocals were auto-tuned, and that's not me being like, oh, I'm an amazing singer, but it's like, if you were to put it into the vocal tuning software, I imagine there probably are quite a few bits that might need a little bit here and there and stuff, but I like that about vocals. I don't want it to sound auto-tuned and too perfect. So sorry, I totally digress then. I tend to do that. But yeah,
No, that's fine. That's fine.
There's lots of influences, yeah, basically.
Yeah. So going back to what you were saying, it's almost like having a live recording as a CD or as an album.
In a way, yeah. I mean, we didn't track it live because I think you've got to be insanely hot on your instruments to be able to track live.
Yeah.
And respect to any bands that do. And I would love to. And I'm not saying that we're not good enough, but I think it is hard to, you know, if you're doing a 4-minute song and making sure that every single person doesn't make a single mistake in that take is hard.
Yeah.
But having said that, when we track stuff, you know, we don't tend to track too many times. So I think, I did the drums on this album again. I think I did like a maximum of 3 takes per track, something like that. Like, I didn't overdo it. The guitar parts, I think we only did maybe a handful of each bit that we were doing. So it's still got that live aspect to it, where it doesn't sound over polished, which is kind of what we want to go for. It's that kind of, you know, garage sounding rock. You know, it's still quite raw and almost unfinished in a way, which is kind of cool, I think.
Yeah. So basically what people hear now on the singles and on the particular album is what they're going to hear when they go to a gig as well.
Yeah, pretty much. There's obviously a few bits here and there where we start layering stuff up on top and whatever, but you know, you can do that and you can get away doing that. There's so many little subtle things that are in the recordings that you probably wouldn't even notice, but they're still there just to kind of fill it out and, you know, make it sound full. But you know, I think when the 4 of us go out and play it live, it's energetic, and because you've got that visual anyway as well, and you know, we like to prance about on stage and, you know, get everyone involved, so that there's that kind of live aspect, which is a completely kind of different kettle of fish anyway. So
okay. I mean, you were talking about 22 being quite a dramatic year, shall we say, and it's given you a lot of inspiration. I mean, what are the kind of things that have given you inspiration to write these songs? I mean, I Want to Rock and Roll, obviously the latest single.
yeah.
It's got to be about the music.
So I Want to Rock and Roll is how to describe it. It's, you've gone through a breakup or something equivalent, whether it's a breakup or it could be something else. You've fallen out with your best mate, or I don't know, whatever. And rather than just sitting and dwelling, it's kind of like, screw this, I'm just going to go out and have fun. Like, not getting too upset about it and just thinking, do you know what's happened has happened. I just want to rock and roll. Like, I just want to go out and party and forget about it all, which is kind of our ethos anyway as a band. So,
yeah. I have heard this.
Yeah. Oh God, is that what people are saying about the next Rolling Stones?
I'm not saying it anymore.
But yeah, so I think it's an uplifting song. It's not, you know, a lot of our songs it's taking a spin on maybe a sad situation and just being like, don't care
Okay.
about it. like get on with it kind of thing. Yeah, so I think that's that one anyway.
Right. Okay. I'm not going to go through each track single or track by track because that will get totally boring and everybody's going to switch off. But I've got to say, a song about lunch.
Yeah.
Come on, just tell me.
I mean, it's literally a song about lunch. It was, I was in the studio, I was writing with, so a few of the songs on the album I've written with the singer of Dinosaur Pileup, Matt Bigland. And I was in the studio, I think we were writing I Want to Rock and Roll actually, or Disobey. It was one of those two, it's that session. And we'd literally just been out for a bite to eat during the middle of the day, just gone for some lunch, came back. And he was sat with, my dog was sat in the studio with us and he's, giving him a cuddle and stuff. And he was like, I wish I had a Bakewell tart at lunch. Like, so, and I just started playing this riff. I was like, and then he started going, wish I had a Bakewell tart at lunch. I wish, and I was like, and I recorded it because it was funny. We didn't actually record it at the time, as in like properly. It was just like I think he might have filmed himself singing it whilst videoing my dog or something. Anyway, put it on Instagram. Yeah. And I listened to it back and like a few days later, and I was like, that's kind of catchy. So I took that one line. And then literally in like half an hour, I was just sat here at home, and then I just came up with this song. And it's just a verse, a verse, a verse, a verse. And it's literally like, wish I had a Bakewell tart at lunch. And then the next one is, I even gave the dog a cheeky brunch. And it just happened. And then I sent it to Matt and I was like, check this out, what I did with that thing that we were accidentally doing at lunch a few days ago. And he was like, that's ridiculous. And I was like, yeah, it's going on the album. So, like, yeah, why not?
Okay. And nothing to do with early advent calendars then?
Nothing to do with early advent calendars, which are blurred out in the background right now because it's embarrassing. But now we brought it up anyway, so
yeah, it's October. I mean, advent calendars,
I think we should get Halloween advent calendars. I think
that's a good thing. Yeah.
I think every month should have an excuse to have an advent calendar. You could have an Easter advent calendar.
Mm-hmm.
You could have a Thanksgiving calendar, even though we're English, we don't care about it.
We could embrace a tradition.
A summer holiday advent calendar.
Mm-hmm. It's just an excuse to eat chocolate, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, moving on.
We diverted quite a lot there.
Moving on. If you were to pick two tracks from the album, which should say are your babies, the ones you have the closest affinity to, which two tracks would they be?
Emotionally, or just which ones do I love the most?
Emotion. Well, say one emotionally, and which one do you love the most?
Emotionally, Goes Around, Comes Around. I love the lyrics in that song, but I'm not going to go into it because I probably shouldn't be allowed to talk about it.
Okay.
Song-wise, maybe Strikeout. I think that became my favorite. Or it'd either be that or Devil Lives Within. Devil Lives Within, I literally finished the lyrics like the day before I recorded them in the studio. And for ages, it was just this instrumental track. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to write about. And I had a few ideas and I just really, really struggled with it. So I never really kind of connected with the song because it was just music. And then luckily I was out on a dog walk, and the day before I recorded the vocals, the whole song just came to me like that. And I was like, sweet. And then I put some demo vocals down before I went in the next day. And it instantly just like, it changed the whole thing for me. And then I just fell in love with that one song. And I think I just listened to it over and over and over again. And I think the lyrics kind of did it for me for that song. And so that became like an instant favorite.
Yeah.
Just because of how it kind of came about. But yeah, so probably between Devil Is Within and Strikeout, because again, Strikeout is just another really cool kind of in your face, riffy, punk rock song. And then yeah, probably emotionally would be Goes Around, Comes Around, because that kind of just sits well with me in a bad way. I don't really know how to describe it, but yeah.
Okay. Does writing come easy for you, or is it a real labor of love?
It depends. Sometimes, like with Devil Is Within, it just comes like that. And that, to be fair, is very rare. I love it when that happens because normally it is quite a painful process of you can't force things to come out, especially when it comes to lyrics. I don't think you can force lyrics to come out. Especially because when I write stuff, I tend to write about real experiences and real feelings, and it's not particularly fictional, as it were. So it kind of has to come out itself, you know. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I end up getting annoyed. You get that writer's block, and it's just like, oh, it's just I want to write it, and it's just not there sometimes, and you kind of have to give up, which is what happened for the few of the songs, and then somehow it just happens. But I mean, in terms of the music, that's not, I don't find it too difficult. But lyrically, yeah, I don't really like writing lyrics that much, because I'm very self-critical about it as well, which is kind of hard. Which is why I found it a lot easier writing with Matt for kind of 6 tracks on this album, because I might give a suggestion and normally I might kind of shut it down and think, oh no, that's crap, I don't want to put that in. But Matt might be like, actually, that's ace, let's use that. And he'd be like, oh, okay. And it's nice having that kind of clarification from someone else that what you're doing isn't pants. So but yeah, I mean, one song on the album, which is Hate That I Miss You, that was another one where I had written, it's like a super, super emotional song as well. And I had on my phone, just like, sometimes I kind of just write words or like a few sentences, and it's not necessarily lyrics, it's just jumbled up, it doesn't make sense, and then but just to kind of get it out, and then kind of put it together later. And I was sat on it for months and months and months, and I just didn't know how to do it. And then I actually woke up in the middle of the night, and it was like 2:30 in the morning, and I just came to my laptop, and again it just happened like that. And then like 4 o'clock I was like, it's done, and I just went back to sleep. Like, it was the weirdest thing. But yeah, so sometimes it's easy, sometimes I want to kill myself because it's absolutely horrendous. So yeah.
Oh well, please don't.
Well, yeah, not literally, you know.
So with the album coming out very soon, what is next for Skinny Knowledge?
Gigs. So we're getting some stuff booked in for next year. We've got some cool festivals which are coming in now, a couple of tours. We've got our actual album launch party on the 17th of November in Bournemouth. So that's going to be a hometown show. We've got our friends from Brighton called Stone Angels. They're going to come over and play as well. So yeah, so 17th of November is that. And then I don't think we've got anything in then until next year.
Right.
But yeah, so we've got some stuff lined up, which can't say at the moment because we haven't announced it. But yeah, there's going to be a lot more gigging, a lot more touring, which we're super excited about. Because we formed the band during like the lockdown period. So we're still quite new and kind of struggle kind of getting gigs because everything's kind of been like postponed and pre-arranged stuff. So kind of slotting into bills and festivals has kind of been difficult. So I think finally kind of 2 or 3 years later, it's kind of like that's kind of finished now. So yeah, we're stoked to just get out and play.
Excellent. So it's a case of watch your space, really.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, we're super excited. Hopefully a busy 12 months coming up. So
excellent. So where can people pre-order this album from, and where can they get it from?
So on our website, which is skinnyknowledge.com, we've got our shop on there. You can pre-order the CD. We're doing a limited edition t-shirt alongside it, so you can kind of pre-order it as a bundle or on its own. And then we've got like our last album and stuff like that on there as well. But yeah, so either on there, or obviously it's going to come out on, you know, Spotify, Apple Music and all that stuff as well. So it'll be available there to stream, but please buy it because the money actually goes to us, which is quite nice. So
okay. Well, Andy, I won't take up too much of your time. I'll let you get back to your advent calendars and breadsticks.
Thank you
And
very much.
I wish
together, that'd be weird.
Oh, I don't know. Experimental.
Dipping the chocolate in.
Experimental.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best for the new album, 22.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.